millions leave Southern Baptist Christian denomination in massive decline. So, in 2020, the Southern Baptist Convention, or SBC, witnessed a downfall in membership, attendance, donations, and the total number of congregations. A new report from Lifeway Research, a renowned evangelical research firm, released on April 23rd, 2021, shows membership declined by nearly 436,000 members since 2019 and 2.3 million from 2006. The executive director of Lifeway Research, Scott McConnell, said the higher death rate due to the global disease going around, I'm using coded language because of YouTube, was one of the main factors that caused an overall decline in membership by 3%, along with fewer congregations and fewer members baptized. SBC leaders may meet in Nashville this month for their first annual meeting since the global disease that's going around. They are expected to address the declining trends and the recent debates regarding how they deal with race, women, abuse, and politics.
Wait, so what's the reason behind this? Is it the beer bug or?
Well, that's what they're saying plays into this. But however, for 14 years in a row, statistics from the SBC have been in the decline. Like I said, it's 2.3 million since 2006. This is particularly significant because the Southern Baptist Convention is the country's largest Protestant denomination. So this is very important. And like I said earlier, Protestant Christians are the most the most Christians in America, and so this is a significant chunk of them.
Wow.
And they have said that. So when a new church comes up, that it's called church planting, I guess. So they're saying that they've had several hundred churches being planted in the U.S. and several thousand abroad last year. So they've maintained an increase in planting churches despite all these shutdowns that we highlighted earlier in the show. But their membership is still declining overall.
Yeah, we keep getting news like this. Like we used to get news like this once every 6 months about numbers declining in churches. Now we're getting them like every month. This week we got them three in 1 week. All right, for different signs.
Well, that's what I was saying in the pre-show was like from what we covered last week to what we're covering this week. It's just like hit back to back to back of like all these news items coming out about attitudes shifting towards like non-existent belief in not believing in the existence of God, like declining, more churches closing than opening, declining memberships across denominations. And I was telling one of our news writers who I send this news to go on the website, I was like, it looks like, religion is going the way of the dinosaurs a lot faster than I anticipated in America.
Yeah. There's a negative side to this. The negative side is that we're going to run out of points to make every time we have to report that their numbers are down. Susanna just at some point, like Susanna is going to come and say, like, "Oh, there's new report that shows that church attendance are like down, or more people are leaving their religion." I was like, "Are we just going to now repeat our points from last week? Like, we don't know what to say."
Oh yeah, we're trying to do such good work that we work ourselves out of existence. That's
like,
the goal,
guys,
right? Like you work so that, like we do this work so that we don't even have to do it anymore. We're irrelevant. We are going to work ourselves into irrelevance. I'm kidding.
Yes, but it's tough on us. It's like, really, guys,
it's
like
tough
we have
on
to.
us.
It's tough on us because we have to come up with new material, new points to make about this every time, and we're gonna run out, and we're gonna be like, "What do we say now?" Yeah, but here's the thing. Okay, no, Sus, there's hope for this. I'm kidding. The one thing that I'm noticing is that we're also getting reports out of rise of the fringe groups that are a lower percentage, but have more extreme views. Do you know what I mean? So you know how like a giant religion declines into a cult, like cults turn into religions, and then when they're dying down, they go back into being a cult. The people who remain in those cults are often extremely crazy, and they have more radical views, and they become more dangerous. Like one thing I don't know, we're not going, I don't know if we are going to be able to cover this, because recent reports just came out, and the cult of Q is rising, and to the surprise of even people who thought, even the people who were considering a threat, they're actually surprised about how fast this thing is growing, right? A lot of people are not paying attention to it anymore because of after the elections. People thought that this is like just was a Trump thing, but it's not just a Trump thing. This is like a cult that is, so I don't know, like a lot of these religious people, the radical ones are growing. I don't know if that's going to be a trend that we have to keep an eye on. We might actually, like, I don't know. I want to report on this, but YouTube might think that we're promoting it and penalize us for it. But go on, Susanna.
I know, I've been thinking the same thing, because that is very important to cover. But again, because YouTube is stupid, and because of no, that's what I wanted to highlight. Don't take it away from me. Marcy was saying at the beginning of this news, "You are giving me hope, Armin," and then Armin talks, "You are taking my hope away, Armin."
Oh, okay. No, I'll give it back to you. Marcy, I'll give it back to you. This is the natural. Well, not natural. This is the recurring thing when religions die. The last phases are more radical, right? So this, just see it as a sign of an ideology dying, right? So it's expected, like it's a cornered dog that doesn't know what to do but to bite, right? So
yeah, the rabid atheist is saying secular extreme cults are on the rise. Armin is correct, although I will say with that particular one that we were talking about, I don't even like to say it too much in a video because I'm so paranoid about YouTube. There are a lot of heavy evangelical flavors to it. It's very influenced
it's
by, like,
it's
wait,
go on.
I had another point. I wanted to give a quote. So this is a quote from J.D. Greer, the outgoing president of the Southern Baptist Convention. So in reflecting on these numbers, he said, quote, "We desperately need a great movement of God among our people, for which these statistics should all drive us to our knees in prayer." He added, "The data also underscores the indispensable need for providing the best theological education to prepare the next generation of pastors and church leaders for the challenges of ministry today," which to me just seems, I read that as like, we need to train our people to do better marketing.
Right. But okay, guys, we're at the point of history in United States where you get to see in real time something that has happened in history many, many times, right? And this is very interesting to note, to watch, because when religions are dying, they evolve, and sometimes you see the formations of new religions in reactions to the irrelevancy of older religions. And these newer religions are predictably a mix of some fringe ideas from multiple different ideologies that are floating around at the same time, right? And usually the ones that they borrow from, a lot of them have anti-authority, rebellious nature to them, right? While also maintaining some of the elements of the mainstream traditional religion, right? So you see that in the birth of Christianity, right? And also first the birth of Christianity, but then eventually the canonization of Christianity, right? So the birth is like it's not a 1 year that Christianity is born. Like the whole taking shape of the religion, it was like a very long process that took hundreds of years, right? But you can see it's a reactionary movement to certain authorities, but then when it's being formed, it takes some ideas from here, some ideas from there, but also takes some ideas from what was already in society as acceptable, as its base with some seasoning on top. You see that in Judaism as well, right? Judaism was a progression of Yahwehism before it. You see that in Islam as well. Like a lot of people assume like Christianity's birth is associated with Jesus Christ, which is not. Like it took like a 400 or 500 year process to even get close to what we recognize as Christianity today. Same thing with Islam. A lot of people think Islam was born with Muhammad. It was not. It took at least 200 or 300 years until the Abbasid era to even get canonized in the form of what we recognize as Islam today, right? But during this process, you can see that they are experimenting with different ideas from like, if you look at Islam, what is the base? The base is like Judaism and Christianity, but then you see some influence of Hellenism and some other ideas, some local folk stories and paganism around, even Zoroastrian influence somewhat in it. Like you can see it's a mix and match of different things. So if you look at what's happening in the United States, you can see the desperation of some mainstream ideas that are losing membership. So this is the time, this is the environment where you could expect new cults, the birth of new cults that eventually might become canonized in the form of religion. Q might be one of those things. And you can see, like, when you look at Q, you can see the base being evangelical Christianity, maybe. And then you can see the Red Scare, a mix of Red Scare in there, a mix of satanic panic in there, a mix of anti-Semitic conspiracy theories in there. And basically, you put different ingredients and you create a new cult that, if this cult is successful, it will eventually become established as a mainstream religion. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but you get to see this now happening while you're living. Like all the things that was when Judaism was being created, when Christianity was being, and on a much higher speed, because the process of transferring information is a lot faster. So what took maybe 400 or 500 years for Christianity, what took 200 years for Islam, you might see the same process. You get to witness it in real time, maybe in the process of a few decades. Suze.
I mean, I went on a date with a guy who said that he accidentally became a cult leader within the span of 3 months. So apparently it can be way quicker than that. Anyways, in regards to the news story, I wanted to highlight this comment by the rabid atheist, who is a former pastor himself, saying pastors are leaving the faith as much as the people. I don't think training up pastors better will help. If anything, it might lead to more decline, which I think is also a very good point. And we covered news about that, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, about how many pastors have quit their jobs after how rough of a year 2020 was for them. So we're seeing a lot of big shifts in America, that's for sure.
Hey guys, if you're a fan of Blasphemy and Sexy Callie, like me, then you need to be sure to subscribe to our newsletter, link in the description below. Because if you subscribe, we will send you a free copy of our Blasphemous Art ebook. And let me tell you, it is the tastiest blasphemy that you can find anywhere available today. And we are so generous with our blasphemy that we continue to send you more blasphemy every week. So make sure to subscribe, link in the description below.